The government is set to publish more of its plan to cut nearly £5 billion from the benefits bill by 2030. Now, those measures will include making it harder for disabled people with less severe conditions to claim what's called personal independence payment, or PIP.
The Prime Minister has told this programme that those who need to be protected will be.
The principles are relatively straightforward to me, which is if you can work, you should work. If you need help and support to get into work, and the government should be providing that support and help to get into work. If you do have conditions, disabilities that mean it is impossible for you to work, then you need to be properly protected and supported.
But it's true to say the benefits bill has never been higher. Joining us now is Coronation Street actress Cherylee Houston, who has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and is urging the Prime Minister against the proposed benefit cuts, and Alicia Cartwright, a mum of two who has bipolar and faces losing her £290 a month PIP payment if the cuts go ahead. Welcome to you both. Thanks for coming in on this. Now, I'm going to be straight with you. We've had messages from both sides of this, from our viewers this morning. They're in constant contact with us. And obviously, there's been a lot of support from people who don't have any issues with their health in your favour. But there's been a lot, as you can imagine, of comment supporting the cuts. And I'd just like to read out one email in particular which summarises the case for the cuts, OK? This is from someone called Deborah. She's watching now. I know people on PIP benefit. They can all work, they take holidays, they have the latest tech, they drive nice, shiny new cars. Some use their benefits to pay for IVF. I work 49 hours a week and I struggle with my bills. I have no car, I take no holidays, and this all makes me very angry. What would you say to people like Deborah?
I think this is the rhetoric and the narrative that's being spread, is that this is money for fun things. This is money that pays for food, bills, equipment, care costs. If you receive care from your local authority, the local authority take that component of your care costs. So in fact, that pound, for every pound, that will take £1.50 from the local authority if that happens. The Citizens Advice Bureau studied loads of people who received disability benefits earlier this year, and 1/3 of people regularly skip a meal to pay their bills. You are talking about people who are so on the breadline already, and this will knock people into homelessness. People are saying they're going to commit suicide. This isn't about money that's
it's not a luxury.
It's certainly not a luxury.
This is essential.
Do you think there are some people, and this is the allegations, you know, who are gaming the system, who are basically using the benefits that they don't actually really need to pay for a lifestyle that otherwise they couldn't afford? That's the allegation. But,
yeah, the allegation is that, but you could say that across the board in anything, but the benefit fraud for PIP is less than 0.4% or 0.1%. It's so difficult to get that benefit. And we're talking about people, they're now going to say, if you cannot wash your lower body, if you cannot dress your lower body, if you need help chopping up your food, you will lose your PIP. Do you know what I mean? If you are a cancer sufferer, long COVID, if you need help to communicate with people, you will lose your PIP. How is that looking at after the most vulnerable in our society? There's 16.9 million people in our country are disabled. 20% of us receive PIP. Now, the reason PIP has gone up is because now, and the government released this figure on the last bank holiday Monday, what happened was that they've discovered that the increases in PIP is because of job centre claimants. They've had help from job centres to fill in those PIP forms. The claimants have gone up because our health system is suffering. People are waiting much longer in mental health crisis. This is severe crisis we're about to go into if we're not looking after our most vulnerable in society.
Yeah, you said it's a matter of life and death for some people.
It really is.
And if they don't reform it properly, they'll have blood on their hands.
Yeah, it really will, because people are going to die.
OK, well, let's talk to Alicia. You look like you're going to lose your PIP entirely, don't you? You've had a look at the new threshold that's being proposed. Yeah. What do you currently get, and how is it going to change for you?
So currently I'm on the standard level of daily living PIP. For bipolar disorder.
And bipolar, to explain to viewers?
So bipolar disorder, I always say the cruelest thing about bipolar disorder is it is so variable. The defining nature of it is variable. You know, I'm on a roller coaster I didn't ask to get on. So, you know, I could be top of the world, I could be making rash decisions without any ability to plan ahead. Or the next day I could be lying in bed, unable to move. You know.
Well, tell us then, tell the people watching who are concerned about the benefits bill, why PIP is payable in your case. Why, you've described your symptoms, which sound very difficult to manage, I fully understand. Why does that mean the next step is that you receive PIP? Explain how that works.
Because I have a lot of extra costs because of my disability. PIP does not cover all of those costs, but it does go some way to helping.
What kind of extra costs?
So it's things such as, for example, I'm having to pay for my own therapy because the therapy I need is not available on the NHS. Okay. It's not a case of there being a waiting list. They do not employ someone who can do that therapy in my area. I have to pay someone to come and help me around the house because I have such bad fatigue that I struggle to do basic daily tasks. If I didn't have my PIP, I'd be using all my energy just to survive if I could manage that. I currently work part-time. I would not be able to do that if I was having to use all my energy on the things that PIP currently help me with.
You're saying you just couldn't go to work?
I couldn't go to work. PIP allows me to work.
That's interesting because, Cherylee, I wonder whether, in the kind of law of unintended consequences, the government might find themselves in a position where more people are left not working, not contributing, not paying tax, and therefore claiming other benefits, which might add to the benefits bill.
Yes, because half of the working age recipients of PIP do work.
Yeah. And
it's not a means-tested benefit, but also PIP is a gateway benefit. So if you take away 71% on the standard rate, then that 71% of people will not have access to carers allowance. They won't get the health credit of universal credit. They will then be eligible for a benefit cap on the housing benefit. So you could take up to £10,000 off a disabled household.
And you, obviously, actor in Coronation Street, you believe that without PIP, you wouldn't have got that far.
Well, I was recipient of benefits which enabled me to eat, help heat my home, live independently. That's what these benefits are for. Yes, it was a gateway for my life and my journey, but it's not saying that everybody who's on benefits has to work if they can't work. But why are we making those most vulnerable in our society on the edge of, on the utter edge of poverty? It's 60% of, there's been a rise in 60% of homelessness in disabled households since 2019. In 2017, the UN said the UK government was responsible for grave and systematic violations of disabled people's rights.
Well, we're going to put those points to the Housing Minister in particular. Thank you both for coming in to talk to us this morning.
In the meantime, the Department for Work and Pensions have told us this. The vast majority of people who are currently getting PIP will continue to receive it. Our reforms are about building a system that's fairer, while making sure that everybody who can realise the benefits of work is expected to do so. Well, we'll see what comes out in the wash.
Yeah, if you're affected by any of the issues we're discussing, you can find advice and support at itv.com/helplines.